I was with a black woman from a teenager until we got married.
Like his coffee a little dark. Oh, okay. Look, sisters in the front, like, hey, shout out to them. Okay. Did you receive hate from people like in black culture?
People try to poke me or make it seem like it wasn't real, but it's been real to me since, as far as I can remember. I've always wanted to be a part of black culture. I have a joke that my grandfather was a jazz trumpet player. His father was a jazz trumpet player. My mom sang black music. My dad worked with Richard Pryor.
Wow.
So like for me, I think my family's been trying to be black for a long time.
You're like the Kardashians in here.
It's honest. But no, I mean, I think you just, you love what you love, and if you worry about what other people are saying, then you won't be able to love it as much. You won't get to enjoy it as much.
So what advice would you give to people who are dealing with haters? Like, what advice would you give to people who have haters?
Well, haters are supposed to be teachers. They're not. If you just see them as haters, you're missing the point. Maybe they're supposed to teach you how not to treat people, how not to act, what not to say, what not to believe. You have to look at it. You have to flip it.
Now where we at? We in Miami. Now where we at? We in Miami. Now where we at? We in Miami.
You get what it do. It's your boy Stunt Lifestyle, and you are watching the We in Miami podcast. And today is not a regular day. We got the one and only, the musical genius, the multi-platinum diamond-selling Grammy-nominated artist, singer, songwriter, and producer, Robin Thicke. I'm such a big fan. Round of applause. Y'all can do better than that. Round of applause. And we also have some beautiful ladies in the building. Ladies, let me hear you say hey. Hey, man, I'm so excited. We got Robin Thicke in the building, man. Welcome to Miami.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Now, from record-breaking Blurred Lines to top charting with Lost Without You to writing and producing a multitude of platinum and gold hits for other artists. Starting at age 21, he had written and produced over 20 gold and platinum albums, including songs from Michael Jackson, Mark Anthony, Pink, Christina Aguilera, Usher, Jennifer Hudson, and more. Round of applause to that. Michael Jackson. Man, you're an icon. I'm so honored to have you on the podcast, man. You feeling good?
I feel great, man. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Now, where do you live?
I live in Malibu. I was actually just before we started recording, I was telling the ladies that my house burned down 4 years ago in the Malibu fires, but I'm all set up. I got my studio and everything working and running, so it's been beautiful.
Now, where's the house I'm always seeing on your Instagram? I follow his Instagram. He has this beautiful view with the piano right there.
Yeah, that's the new house all rebuilt.
Oh my God, that house is crazy.
Home sweet home now.
I need an invite over there. And
yes, sir, when you come to LA, you got
now what
we in LA.
Hey, we in LA.
We in Malibu.
So what brings you to Miami?
I'm here promoting a few things. This is actually the 20th anniversary of my debut album.
Hey, round of applause for that. 20 years.
20 years since my first album came out, and so we're releasing some new songs this month. Actually, that I started back then 20 years ago. So there's a few like from the archives that I finished up.
Wow, that you pulled out the vault.
A re-release, yeah. We're dropping a video with Yo Gotti.
Hey, oh yeah, the Brown Liquor.
Yeah, the song's called Brown Liquor. So
hold on, can we play a snippet of it?
Yeah, please.
Brown Liquor featuring Yo Gotti. We about to play a snippet. Y'all ready? This is a world premiere. Yeah. Play a snippet of it. Put it on.
I only drink brown liquor.
Oh my God.
Don't disrespect my got my girl here. Ain't fresher than me.
Yes.
Got my girl here. Ain't fresher than me.
Hey.
Oh, that feels wrong.
Hey.
I give up. You make money. Don't need help.
Can we add this now?
This is a good of your dream.
Yo, round of applause, Robin Thicke. That song is crazy. Now, do you like Brown Liquor? Is that your favorite?
No, it's I do like Brown Liquor. Shout out to Duce.
Hey, shout out to Duce.
But no, the song is more of a double entendre about liking a woman. You know,
Right.
Oh, brown women.
Liking that woman. Yeah.
Hey, turn up. That's what's up. Now, Robin Thicke, you know what I'm saying, he's known for like trailblazing. Like he came in the industry. I remember when I first heard his song, I thought, before I saw you, I thought you was a brother. When I first heard the song, I thought he was a brother. You know what I'm saying? So before we get into the interview, we got a dope interview. Do you mind if I play a little snippet of the classic one time?
Sure.
Play a little snippet of the classics. I know y'all know
20
these.
years.
Hey. I love this song.
Maybe I'm going down. Lost without you.
Hey.
I know.
Oh.
How does it feel to know that I love you, baby? You got it. We got
Oh, I love this one.
magic, yeah. I got it. You got it. We got the magic, yeah. When she's around, nothing
Oh, yeah.
else matters.
That's a hit. Round of applause, man. Come on. I don't care. I had to play that. I don't care. Now, I was always wondering, you play the guitar a lot? Because I know in your videos.
No, I only play a little bit of guitar, just enough to write songs. But piano is my main instrument. I write
got
most
you.
of my songs on the piano.
Got you. That's what's up, man. And more exciting news, you're going to be joining Usher for the Vegas residency.
Well,
Huh?
we actually did. I joined him for a show, and we had such a great time. So we're going to do more together. But him and I go back. Do you know that Confessions is going to be 20 years next year? Also, isn't that crazy? And
Crazy.
so Usher and I met like 20 years ago this year because he.
Confessions?
No, when he heard this album, and then I worked on his Confessions album. I did a song.
Play a snippet of Confessions.
My confessions, if I'm gonna
All right, stop it. That's the remix. That's the remix.
That's all good. That's Ushy Ush right there.
And you also wrote Can You Handle It for Usher.
That was the one. Yeah,
Wow.
that was one I wrote
Wow. That's triple platinum.
on that album. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. So how was it working with Usher?
Well, we became instant friends. We just, we ended up becoming friends for the last 20 years, and we go to each other's kids' birthday parties and stuff. Like he's my boy. But I think we just really both love music, and we had the same influences growing up, and he's just a really sweet, kind human being.
Right. I met Usher a couple of times. He just like you. He's so humble, so
Yeah,
cool,
he's
so
just like-
talented.
It's to be that talented and that accomplished, and to still be such a good person is
Right. And you know what I noticed? Sometimes the most successful, biggest artists are like the humblest. And then it's like the artists who trying to like whatever prove something, they be the ones, but like
We were talking about that earlier. It's like the mid-level people, usually they're always trying to stick out their chest or,
Yeah.
overact it. But the biggest stars have a tendency to be the most confident because they really believe in themselves. So
Yeah.
they don't mind complimenting you and telling you how great you are because they believe that they're great.
Absolutely. Now, aside from your music video releasing tomorrow, and I know you got a bunch of exciting stuff, you're also on the hit TV show, The Masked Singer,
Yes, love that job.
with Nick Cannon.
With Nick Cannon, yeah.
So like this is one of the hottest TV shows in the U.S.
Well, we
right
got
now.
really lucky, man. We've done 2 seasons a year the last 5 years, and it was #1 for like the first 7 seasons. You know what I mean?
Wow.
In its whole field. And for me, this was never something I thought I would do, but I've ended up having so much fun. I love doing the show. I love the people I work with. I love the hours.
What are the hours?
The hours you go there around like noon or 1 o'clock.
Oh, it's not like 6 a.m.
Come
Yeah.
home around 8 p.m. It's a nice day's work,
Right.
Nice and clean. You get to see some great performances and be with some great people. So it's been a blessing in my life. I love doing that.
That's crazy. Now, did that pique your interest into like maybe getting into acting or more on the big
Well,
screen?
I don't know. Did you ever see The Real Husbands of Hollywood that I did with Kevin Hart? And
Oh yeah, I do remember that. That was lit.
So
Yeah.
I did a lot of that. I did a few seasons with them, and that was a lot of fun. And I enjoy acting, but music and writing songs and performing them, it's
Your passion.
It's just my life,
Right.
It's my first love, and my kids and my family are now my first love, and music's my second love.
Right.
And then everything else comes down the line after that.
Right. So like, what do you think about Nick having 11 babies, man? He been popping them things out.
We were talking about this, Nick is on his own run. The one thing about Nick is I think that he is one of the most hardworking, kind, helpful. He's good in his community. He's good to his friends. He's taking care of people and giving people breaks. That Kehlani told a wonderful story about how he paid for her demos, let her work in his studio. He never asked for anything, but helped her career become what it is. And Nick's done that for a lot of people that people don't know. So I look at the whole picture and I go, whatever you're doing, Nick, you're on your own journey in that department. But as a friend and a human being, and he's a wonderful man. And if anybody can do it,
Shout out to Nick, man. Shout out to Nick. We gotta get Nick on the
if
show.
anyone can take care of 20 babies, it's you, Nick.
Yeah. He definitely got the money to do it. Now, I mean, but back in the day, that's really how it was. People, like my grandma had 10 children, including my mom. Like, people used to have a lot of kids back in the day.
If you could, I mean, you wanted to have a big family and spread your name. That was the other thing back then. It was about spreading the family name, and trying to imprint the family name across your community or territory.
Is that that's my biggest fear, to like leave this earth without like leaving my seed. Like I feel like I wouldn't leave anything behind,
Yeah, I mean, your children become your legacy as much as anything else you'll ever do. Even
Right.
So because they're the ones that will continue to talk about you when you're gone.
Right. No, for real.
So they're the ones that if you didn't treat them right and they didn't love the experience, then they're gonna let people know.
They're gonna let them know. Now, how many kids do you have?
I have 4.
Oh wow!
I have,
Shout out to that.
13-year-old
Round of applause to
son.
that. You got 4 kids.
My son just turned 18. And then I have 3 my son Julian, and then I have Mia is 5, Lola is 4, and my son Luca is 2.
Oh wow! That's what's up.
I'm a devout father. I like taking him to school every morning, getting up early and making him breakfast and taking him to school, and then I get on with my day. But
That's pretty lit. Like having your dad be like Robin Thicke. Like I wish like I could have a cool dad.
The little ones don't quite get it yet, My older son, he has fun with it. He actually sings too, and he just had the lead in the school play. He was Charlie in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh wow!
So, and I was like a studio rat. Like I literally was in the studio 12 hours a day from when I was 16, for 10 years. But my son, and so I was never really on stage much. But my son is such a natural. As soon as he walks out on stage, just
So he's gonna be the next Robin Thicke Jr., huh?
He's gonna be his own thing. But yeah, it's fun to watch.
Is it weird though? Like for him, like do you pull up to school in like sick cars and stuff, and all the kids at school like, oh my God, your dad?
It's Hollywood, so everybody knows somebody.
Yeah, everybody's riding.
Yeah. It's like Beyonce's cousin is right there.
Do they go to like Kanye West's school, like a Kanye school or like special school?
Well, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, I got to keep that Masked Singer money. I'm trying to put him through the best school I can.
Now, you being a family man, how influential was your family in getting your start in the music industry? Like a lot of people, I don't know if you guys know, but his dad was Alan Thicke, who played the father on the hit 70s TV show Growing Pains, and he was also a singer and songwriter.
Yeah,
your dad's a really big deal.
My dad, yeah,
really
was born
big
in the 80s and 90s, but he was on this like family. He was a family TV dad, So, and he was very successful, very beloved. Every set I go to and everywhere I go, somebody always walks up to me and goes, "I loved working with your dad. He was the best guy." And so that's what I talk about legacy: how you treat people, how you take care of your kids. So I had this wonderful example, even though I grew up in Hollywood. My dad was from a small mining town in northern Canada, and so he really loved Hollywood. He wanted to be in Hollywood. He embraced it.
So was he the first person in the family like blow up in Hollywood?
Well, yeah. I mean, no. Everybody else. I mean, my mom also did very well. She was she was a soap opera actress, and she had a #1 single in the '80s.
Oh wow!
Called "Friends and Lovers." Yeah. So I come from
So what's in your blood?
I come from a lot of music and a lot of acting and stuff like that. And so I think just like any family, if your dad's a lawyer or a doctor or your mom's a doctor, they teach you their craft.
Would you want your children to be singers, or would you want because you've seen the dirty of this game? Does it like make you like, I don't want my kids to do that?
I've seen the dirty, but I've also seen the joys. I've lived an amazing life. I've lived 2 amazing lives.
Wow.
My dad loved his life, and so I think it's what you see as an example. If you're the child of a celebrity, would you say that has a drug problem and is very sad, and then that permeates through into the family also. My dad was a happy guy. My dad passed with a big smile on his face.
Wow.
And he was very loved and very appreciated. So that's an example that I get to see and go, wow, you can win.
Right.
You can be happy, and you can do something you love to do. I just want my kids to do what they love, number one. And I want them to have craft. I think the most important thing you can do in life as an independent person is to have a craft in something, to be able to do something well and have put 10,000 hours into that craft, and then you master it, and then you can do it for the rest of your life.
You heard him say it, 10,000 hours. Like, you want to blow up your craft, you got to work, man. You can't just sit back and wait on someone to do it for you. Like, if you wait, you'll wait forever.
There's a great book that everybody should read if they have time. It's called Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, and it preaches this 10,000 hour theory that the Beatles or certain people that accomplished incredible feats, that once they got through the training of those 10,000 hours, they became masters of their craft in some way,
Right. So let's say I wanted to become a singer, or someone watching this. How many hours a day do you think they should work on like
My son asked me this when he was 5 years old, and I said, "Go outside and sing your favorite songs, challenge yourself, sing, try to hit the note you can't hit." So what did he? A couple years later, he picks the song, the Disney song at the end of the Frog movie, the Princess and the Frog, and she's got like some 30-second long note, and he comes out and he nails it for me, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. What did that take you about a year?
That's lit.
What did that take you about a year?" And that's the thing, you just encourage them to love their lives and love what they're doing, but learn something that when you don't have dad and you don't have this and you don't have somebody else, that you can use that craft.
That's good because a lot of kids, they rebel against their parents and they rebel against the help. Like, do you think so? Your dad, did his celebrity help hurt or influence you in your ambitions?
Well, I think, like I said, the his abilities and his work ethic were awe-inspiring. And then yet he was like this, clean cut dad on TV. And so I wanted to be a bad boy.
You were the bad, yeah. You're like, I'm the bad boy. I don't want
to. NWA and, all rap music, And so I wanted to be the anti my dad in some ways. And now, of course, I just want to be just like him, you know what I mean? And I want to, embrace everything he was and realize that, that as an artist, I was fighting his image, but as a human being, I was always following in his shoes.
Right. Well, R.I.P. to your father, man. R.I.P. to him, and, not to get on a down note, but,
this is we in Miami.
But, you have.
Let's get back to Miami.
No, but this is real, though, because, you have suffered some losses. You lost your father, your mentor, and, you lost your home to the wildfires. I mean, have those losses impacted your music?
Yeah, my last album was called On Earth and in Heaven, and it was really an ode to my father and my mentor who had passed, who were in heaven, and to the people that are still here on Earth that I love and that make my life worth living and that make everything go. But I think what I've gotten to in the last couple of years.
And in 2020 you lost your mentor, producer. Andre
Harrell.
Yeah.
And Andre Harrell was really the person, like, if you ever get lucky enough to have someone in your life who believes in you more than you do, then, and sees you in this light that no one else has ever seen you, it changes your path, and he was that person. He came to me and he heard my voice, and other people would compliment me, but he saw the whole thing and turned me into that with his love and inspiration.
So what was his role in your career? Like,
he just he taught me what to do with the talent I had, and that if you just want to be great or be awesome or be better than everybody else, that's ego. If you want to connect with the world, that's love.
Right.
And so I went from just trying to paint on canvas to actually send a message through the paint on the canvas that eternally meant we're going to connect, we're going to be closer together, we're going to love each other better, and we're going to evolve in some way.
Right. Round of applause to that, man. And now, didn't you get your first record deal from Brian McKnight?
Yes, yeah.
You see the one that took you to Interscope, or how did that work?
Yeah, Brian McKnight heard a demo of mine. Oh, actually, I was next door recording with Tricky Stewart, who has become... Oh,
shout out to Tricky.
Who did Single Ladies, and who did the new Beyonce... what's the new Beyonce at the break? Not Cuff It, but the one before that. Release.
Your Soul.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I like that record.
Tricky did that record, too. He did Umbrella. He's done so many amazing records. So
he's out in Atlanta still? Is he in Atlanta?
He's down in Atlanta still. Shout out to Tricky. We love you. And still one of the best in the game. But him and I kind of started together. He had just moved to LA from Chicago. He was like 17, 18. I was 16. And we were writing songs and recording songs together. Brian McKnight heard some of my demos in the room next door. And because he was working out of the same studio, and Brian was my idol at the time. He had just
Brian McKnight, like
Brian played piano and he sang love songs, and that's what I did. And so he was like my favorite artist.
Step one, I still rock to that. Y'all too young. These girls are too young to know about Brian. Do y'all know about Brian?
Yes.
Y'all know about Brian? Y'all know about Brian over there on the sofa?
No. They look confused.
You don't know about Brian? You tripping.
It's the kind of stuff where you probably heard a song, and didn't know who the
so you were surrounded by all these like legends, all these soul legends, and you
call me Brian McWhite.
Right. And you're also considered like a prince of the blue-eyed soul. they call you?
Well, I think I have. It's funny. I fought that when I was young because I didn't want to be categorized or be, in any way. But I have blue eyes, and I consider myself a soul singer, so I got to own up to it.
It's crazy though, because like his music has crossed like all racial barriers. A large percentage of his loyal friends are African American.
Yeah.
Like. How did you get your soulful sound? Just like being around it and just kind of.
I was with a black woman from a teenager until we got married.
Like his coffee a little dark. Oh, okay. Look, sisters in the front. Like, hey, shout out to them. Okay.
And because we were together at a young age, I got to learn a lot about what it's like to be a black woman going through high school and college and try to get a job. And so I was constantly being fed her cultural information. Then Andre came into my life and told me all about how to connect with the audience and the music that I love so much. And he told, like, I had this long hair down to my shoulder.
Yeah, I remember.
A grunge star, and he was like, "Black people don't like it messy. We don't like it. You got to clean it up a little bit. We don't like all that messy stuff. Try to sing black music, then clean up a little bit."
Now, did you receive hate though? Like, because a lot of times whenever you do something new, people hate on you. Like, did you receive hate from people? Like in black culture, you're trying to
people try to poke me or make it seem like it wasn't real, but it's been real to me since as far as I can remember. I've always wanted to be a part of black culture. I have a joke that my grandfather was a jazz trumpet player. His father was a jazz trumpet player. My mom sang black music. My dad worked with Richard Pryor.
Wow.
So like for me, I think my family's been trying to be black for a long time. So,
you're like the Kardashians in here.
it's honest. It's honest though. But no, I mean, I think you just, you love what you love, and if you worry about what other people are saying, then you won't be able to love it as much. You won't get to enjoy it as much.
So what advice would you give to people who are dealing with haters?
Well, haters are supposed to be teachers. They're not. If you just see them as haters, you're missing the point. Maybe they're supposed to teach you how not to treat people, how not to act, what not to say, what not to believe. You have to look at it. You have to flip it, because if they're right, then what do you do with that? You just sit still. If they're right, there's no motion. There's no. I love this my new theory. Well, not new, but I love the word momentum. Because anything that's sitting still, it doesn't create love or positivity. Or you need momentum in every situation. You need momentum in your relationship. You need momentum with your family. You need momentum in your career. You want to build momentum.
Speaking of relationships, what's your status?
I am happily engaged. We have 3 kids.
Hey, round of applause for that.
She's in no rush to get married. She's not old school. I'm more romantic than she is. She's happy. And
so romantic, like what does Robin Thicke do on a romantic night? When you trying to knock her off her feet, what does Robin Thicke do? I can see him like having rose petals and like, what does Robin Thicke do?
We do it all, whatever makes her smile.
I did that before. I did like rose petals on the bed and like leading in and the candles. I did that.
When you're together a long time, you obviously, it wouldn't matter if you tried to pull that stuff every day. But you make sure you don't forget not to do it. Make sure there's flower. I try to make sure there's flowers there every week, or any little thing she does that she's excited about or happy. Make sure she gets some flowers.
And how long have you guys been together?
Going on 8.5 years now.
Wow. What's the secret? Just doing little things to make her happy, or what's the secret? Because in Miami, look, we need help.
She gave me 3 babies. She barely likes me at all. She's ready to hit me over the head with a pot at any second. She's like, you did this to me. But no, I mean, we're when you fall for somebody and you guys have the same sense of humor and the same passion for each other, and it's just there. We don't always get to pick who we love. You can't help but love them.
Do you think love is a decision? Or
I said this thing earlier today. I said nothing is better than love, and nothing is harder than love. And so love is a constant choice. People think it's just a word or a feeling. It is an effort. Love is an effort.
And then after the honeymoon phase goes down, you gotta keep it. Going.
Let's do it on the plane era.
Yeah.
And later it's like, don't touch me. Don't give me your blanket.
Yeah, but your plane is different. Like he doesn't fly Spirit. He's like flying private jets and shit. That doing on the plane is a little different than like Spirit Airlines.
I think everything is a constant journey, and you have to. You're growing as people. So sometimes people grow together. Sometimes they grow apart. So you really want to focus that you're growing together and you're staying intertwined.
Right. Now, quick question to the ladies. Raise your hand if you're single. Y'all need to be taking notes right now. If you're single, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we got a few single girls. Okay, you got some.
Oh, no.
Oh, some of y'all are booed up. Okay, we got some relationships in here. You know, it's hard in Miami. Now, a lot of people that don't know, I mean, he's a songwriter and producer, you know, before you even dropped your first album. And like I was saying earlier, he worked with Michael Jackson, Mark Anthony, and all these people. Who's your favorite artist you ever worked with?
Well, definitely Mary J. Blige, Jay Z.
Oh, yeah.
Because just being in the studio with Jay and recording his verse and seeing him write it and without writing anything down, and you're already in the presence of this, you know, this greatness, and then he delivers, you know, just like you would expect Michael Jordan to go for 50 or something, you know what I mean?
So he doesn't like pre-write.
No,
he just goes in the booth.
He sits there and he's listening and he's thinking and he writes it in his head and he goes in and just drops like 2 times and it's just incredible.
Damn.
Yeah, so that level of genius is pretty awesome.
So he doesn't do like 20 retakes.
No. He's
Y'all ever been in the studio with someone? They be like, "Hey, run it one more time. All right, one more time. Last time, one more."
I do that too, especially because when you're singing.
Yeah, you got to be a perfectionist. Of course, yeah, you got to be a perfectionist.
Sing it one more time, you know.
You also work with like Drake and Lil Wayne, Rick Ross, Busta Rhymes.
Lil Wayne, of course, one of my favorites to work with just because he's a genius. But Mary J. Blige is one of my favorites because she has this. She can't sing anything without feeling. It's every note that comes out of her body has genuine emotion and feeling and purpose.
Right.
And so being in the studio with her, you remind yourself that of singing with purpose is the strongest.
I love Mary.
Mary's like just, and she's just a special human.
Do you watch Power? Did you see her on
No, I
Power?
haven't seen it, but I hear
She's
about
good
it.
on
Yeah.
Power.
Oh, yeah,
Like she's
she's
actually
really
a really
good.
dope
She's
actor.
great.
So how did you get your start as a songwriter and producer? Like, would you get your first like?
Well, it started where, as I said, I started writing. I taught myself to play piano around 11, 12 years old, and started just writing songs, you know. And then when I was 14, I asked my dad for $1,000 to pay for a demo, and he wouldn't give me the money.
Oh,
he said,
dang.
No, we're not starting that. You're only 14. You don't need $1,000.
Oh.
So my buddy, who was in my singing group with me, his godfather was Al Jarreau. Al Jarreau is a famous old jazz R&B singer, and so Al Jarreau gave us the $1,000 so I could go record my first 3 songs.
Wow.
I recorded the first 3 songs, and then our manager played it for some other producers. Those producers ended up being Tricky Stewart.
Oh yeah, that's a
So
big one.
then I started writing with Tricky. That was the first like production team that I started writing with,
Right.
and then I was only 15 years old, and then Brian heard the demos, but it was all kind of happening as I was writing and working with people during that time.
That's crazy.
And I got my first cut. And I got my first song published was on Brandy's first album.
That's a hell of a first song, Brandy.
I was 16.
Come on, what song was
I
it?
was 16 and she was 14 when we.
Wow.
when we made the song.
Was it on the I Wanna Be Down album?
Yeah, it was on that one.
Oh, y'all remember that? I wanna be down.
Yeah.
I wanna
So
be down.
that was my first official cut.
So, all right, I gotta ask, how was it working with Michael Jackson though?
That was pretty special. I didn't actually get to work in the room with him. What happened was, you guys remember when Ricky Martin performed on the Grammys, and he did "Cup of Life," and it was like this. It was this big moment over 20 years ago, and Ricky Martin blew up, and the next day everybody was talking about this new superstar. So Tommy Mottola, who ran Sony Records, he was looking for a song for Madonna and Ricky Martin to do a duet. Madonna wanted to do a duet with him. So they called this producer that I was working with, who worked with Mariah, who did all Mariah's records at the time. So him and I had written a couple of songs together. So Tommy Mottola called him and said, "Do you have anything for Madonna and Ricky Martin?" My producer friend calls me and says, "Hey, that song we started, I think this will be perfect for Madonna and Ricky Martin. I'm in LA because the Grammys were the day before. Can I come to your studio and we'll finish that song?" We finished the song. The next day, Tommy Mottola hears it and says, "I'm sending this to Michael Jackson."
Wow.
So Michael hears it, loves it.
So
A few days later, I get flown to New York. I think I'm 20 years old, something like that.
20?
I get flown to New York. They put me up in the Trump Hotel. And
Did Michael show up for like room
stayed
service like, "Hey, I really love the song you wrote
Yeah,
for
right.
me,
Yeah, right.
and I just want to personally thank you."
Oh my
No, I ended up going to the Sony studios every day, and that's when I wrote the song for Mark Anthony. I was working with Mark Anthony, and Michael was in the studio next door cutting the record that I wrote. And so I was there for about 10 days writing for artists for Sony, but I never got to be in the room.
Like physically, yeah.
I have one other good finishing Michael story was when he was supposed to do his tour at the O2 Arena right before he passed. He had asked, I just released When I Get You Alone, which was like a Michael Jackson style record with the long hair, first album. And so he asked me to open up for him. I was going to open up for him on July 12th and July 14th at the O2 Arena, and my whole family was coming out. My dad was going to fly out to London and everything. And then he passed away. So
that's so crazy, man. R.I.P. to Michael, man.
Yeah, my Michael connections.
That's crazy. So you've basically worked with everybody, but who have you not worked with? Like, what's that one artist that you would love to work with that you haven't
I
yet?
really want to work with Miguel. Him and I have become good friends.
That would be fun.
Yeah, and I think he's one of the best singers. And
I love Miguel. That would be a good duo, right? Yeah. Robin Thicke, Miguel. I'm here for that. Y'all here for that?
Yeah.
We've talked about it. We just haven't found the right song yet, but he's one of my favorites.
Do you have any crazy stories while working on collabs with other artists? Any crazy studio stories?
I probably wouldn't tell them. You and I could do that. You and I could do that.
Now, Robin, on the show, we play this game where we ask to FaceTime one celebrity that they think would answer the phone.
I want to know who it is.
I don't want to give it away yet.
It's ringing.
The suspense.
Yeah. I know.
Cut it with a knife.
Oh, there he is. Hey, baby. What are you doing?
Nothing, man. I just dropped a friend off the airport.
I'm in Miami. I'm doing this podcast called We in Miami. And so they asked me, which one of your famous friends would you FaceTime? And I said, well, I do have one friend that I go back 20 years with that would probably pick up because he's the sweetest guy in the world.
Guess who it is, guys?
You want to just say a quick hello because you look so cute anyway?
Usher! Hey, Usher, I gotta tell you one thing. I gave you my demo. I was 13 years old in Atlanta, and I ran to you. You were getting in your limo. I was 13, and I ran to you, and I gave you my CD, and you were like, you grabbed it. You were like, I'm gonna check it out. No cap.
Yeah, if it was a CD, he looks good for 42. You know what I mean? Thank you for picking up. I love you, brother.
Hey, round of applause to Usher.
That is so funny. I think that was the best one. Yeah.
FaceTime with
That's crazy. Usher is like the GOAT, the legend. What's on the horizon for Robin? Like, I know you got your show, you got your new release.
Right now that I'm set up in the house again, I've really been I've been more creative than I have been in a long time. The last album I released was 2020, was 2 years ago. So I hadn't been in a groove moving houses and newborn babies and all this, stuff. So now that I'm in my new house and I'm all set up, I've just been writing like crazy, and I'm really loving the new music. It's been a long time since I've been that re-inspired. So
that's what's up, man. That's what's up. And before you get out of here, do you have any words of wisdom for others coming up in the game, singers, songwriters, producers?
Well,
this whole interview has been motivational.
Yeah,
but
no, I mean,
do you have anything else like?
I'm constantly motivating myself and motivating my kids, and trying to make a better version of myself if I can. And I think it's just for all of us. It's not just artists. It's just for the human spirit. Is love yourself. Number one, love yourself. Don't let your parents, your brothers and sisters, your aunts and uncles, your peers, or your coworkers, do not let them give you any reason not to love yourself. Start there. And then believe that you can do things that you think are impossible. Believe that you actually can accomplish it with some hard work and some time and some patience. Have the 5-year plan, have the 10-year plan, have the 20-year plan, and then let life happen and adjust accordingly with an open heart and an open mind.
And I think balance is really important. That's one thing that you have, because a lot of people get lost in the industry, and you're being a family man. How do you balance all of that, not having kids?
I didn't balance things well enough years ago, but my dad's words to me since I was a baby were balance. That was his core message to me, was balance. And I love that you just said balance.
Right.
That's kismet right there.
Now, you still party a little bit, though? You still turn up a little bit?
Well,
I'm trying to go out with Robin. I want to party with Robin Thicke. Like, what's good? Like,
I like to have a heart out,
Yeah.
I'll go there, but I'm leaving at a certain time.
Yeah, for sure. You have like your cutoff. Like, all right, I'm 3 a.m. now. my cutoff. I like to be at the club no longer than 2 hours. I got ADD. I'm ready to in and out.
I like to. Well, we got work in the morning too, but
Right.
I would like to save my party nights for special occasions, you know. But tonight's going to be a special occasion. We're celebrating the 20-year anniversary.
Hey, 20-year anniversary to Robin Thicke. Round of applause.
Thank you guys for having me, man. That was fun.
Hey, thank you for coming.
And check out Brown Liquor, the new record with Gotti.
Check out Brown Liquor. And before we get out of here, guys, I gotta ask y'all, where we at?
We in Miami.
We in Miami.